Hey, I'm Nick Hawks with Gristle King, and I'm going to show you what it's like to be in on the very first Gristle Crüe sensor build. We found the project that Joey Hiller had put together on taking an air quality sensor from IKEA and putting it onto the Helium network. We decided as a group that we wanted to try and do it together. And so we got together on a Saturday morning on a Zoom call, and all of us at the same time attempted to build this thing. You'll see in some cases there was a significant frustration. You'll see some pretty salty language from me, but this is what it's like to be a part of a group of folks working together to understand what is sometimes a very complex project and to do it with some expert oversight and assistance. So pretty cool thing. Just wanted you to see behind the scenes a little bit on what goes on here. Thanks a ton to Joey Hiller for coming on and helping us, and also for Elon, who's one of the moderators over on Elon Tusk, not Elon Musk. Elon Tusk is one of the moderators over on the Gristle King Discord for helping walk us all through some of the soldering bits. I cut out a lot of dead space. You also see that the audio on this is not that great for me. This is the first time that I did this, so the next one, the audio and video quality should be much better, but that's how we do it. We learn as we go. All right, let's get into this thing.
So after Creekhound made his comment about his solder head being too big, I look at my set and I've got a fine point when I think I need to change out to. That may be one suggestion. I'm staying on because I like watching Nick flounder.
Yeah, ever. This is like Flounder City here.
I haven't soldered anything in probably 15, 20 years, so it's going to be fun for me to try to.
Yeah, you just tin it. So yeah, just give it a little flux to clean the metal, and then get a little solder on it, and it will spread over the tip to kind of prep it. I already have the tip hot, and I've got like a little kind of pot of flux. I just give it a little dip into, and it'll sizzle, make a little smoke, and clean it, and then just pop a little solder onto it. A lot of solders these days actually have a rosin core. If you have that, then you don't even need the separate flux. Yeah, if it says like 60/40, that's like a lead-based solder. Or you can get the lead-free solders, they're a little harder to work with because they're higher temp to get them to melt, right? And then again, some of them are solid, and some of them have they're literally a tube, and inside is a rosin flux. So it's all in one. Also, if you're doing a lot of soldering on stuff all the time, it's not bad to get one of those little extraction fans. Breathing all that flux smoke isn't great for you.
I got a extraction vacuum, but I didn't think about a fan. Where does it vent it to?
Wherever you set the pipe up. Like some of them have little filters built in. Some of them just like are basically just a little fan in a tube to blow it elsewhere. All just kind of depends on your setup.
Okay, and then after you do that, I think you're supposed to take a little sponge and wipe off the excess solder.
Yeah, you can do that if you want. I honestly generally don't, but your mileage may vary. If you're super worried about like built up impurities and stuff on whatever you're soldering, then you can. Honestly, the stuff that we're doing doesn't particularly matter, honestly. We're not being super precise here. As long as your solder stays on the solder pad on the board.
Fuck, I'm getting my ass kicked on this, Joey. I can't get the fucking solder to melt on the board, so it's just turning brown. It's just a fucking shit.
This soldering's a whole skill. How many people are making these?
Something to work on for sure. I'm gonna go back and give it another shot, but I'm gonna breathe for a second. I was starting to get pissed.
I hear you.
What's going on with the board, Nick? Is the solder on the pad just not melting?
Yeah, I don't have a ton of experience soldering. So my plan was I was listening to you guys in the background. I put flux on the cable, and I was trying to clean that, and then I tried to tin the cable or tin the wire.
Yep.
And then I was putting the wire on top of the little solder pad on the board, and I thought I would heat the wire, and that would go through and then heat the solder pad, and the whole thing would fuse, but it just turned everything fucking brown.
Okay, so you tin the wire.
Yep.
And then, okay, so what kind of you got like just a little paste flux right now?
Yeah, let me see if I can get this thing a little bit closer. Hang on a second.
All right. Yeah, it should be like you just should be able to like go tin the wire, then give the wire now that's tin just just a little dip in the flux, lay it on top of that pad, and throw the solder tip on top of it, or solder iron on top of it, and it should melt it.
My son pointed out to me also that you can draw circles and stuff on something on the screen. Like you're working on something, you want to point something out, you just highlight it. I think that's using your telephone as your zoom camera.
Huh. I'll have to check that out.
And there's also a virtual reality type thing where you can point it at your project and it stays, even if you move around the room, it's that little box or something stays focused on your project. I watched him do it once. It was pretty cool.
I know the portal that Facebook made will do that. It'll like follow the person around the room as they move.
He told me they did it because of teachers.
Makes sense.
Hey, Joe, if we have Slack time, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, I just organizing over here. Go for it. I'll keep the mic on.
So Nick asked me to find a cheaper module, and I found a little 50-cent Chinese air quality monitor.
Okay.
Would it be very hard to try this on a different one, or was there any specs that you felt like the air quality monitor had to have?
I guess it would depend on what you found. 50 cents is suspect.
I think it didn't have the main thing it didn't have, this one has, is a fan. So you probably have to hook a little micro fan on it to move the air through, the particles through.
But it's probably a different sensing mechanism altogether, because the air particulate sensors actually, it's an optical reading of the stuff that was.
Yeah, this was a particulate matter sensor. I'll put it in the I'll put it in the chat in a minute.
Okay, yeah, I'll take a look. Oh, you nice and in there, Nick.
There we go.
You should just look through that screen instead of whatever you're doing with your eyes.
Yeah, right.
Well, he's got one of those big lit magnifying glass things on an arm.
Ah, nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the hardest. Okay, so these little pads are super small, but those circles that are like right to the left of it in your view frame, they all line up with one of those pads. So if you find it's easier to target one of those, you can chase that.
Oh, these guys.
that's handy.
No.
No?
The one more, yeah, those guys. You can kind of see there should be a little connection between the two.
Cool.
Yeah, they're not tinned though, so it's a whole other battle from what I remember.
Oh, are they just the raw copper?
I think so. Yeah, there's like little. So this is a VOC sensor. So it's volatile organic compound. So it wouldn't give you air particulate. So whole different bad stuff, basically.
I mean, that'd be good for my
Guys,
shop
I'm
with
gonna
spray
go.
lacquer.
Yeah,
Good luck,
exactly.
Nick. Good luck. See you guys. I've got to go with the baby J's.
All right, later. Thanks,
See you
mate.
later.
Cheers. Thanks. See you, Joey. Bye.
All right, so now the wire is untinned. I've got it set up so I can tin it, and I'm thinking the order of operations is you first put flux on the wire, and then you fucking clean the soldering iron, and then you tin it, and then you wait for it to cool down, and then you go back and you heat the whole thing up and attach it to the board.
I never wait for anything to cool down, but
Yeah, you don't really
otherwise
need to
all sounds
wait.
good.
Yeah.
Okay. And is there a specific temperature I should be soldering at? This machine says, you can't read it, but it says 324. I don't know if that's high or low or.
You want the highest, I think.
Yeah, crank it. Yeah. It depends on your solder, basically. So if you're having trouble with it, sort of, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I know when I'm working with pewter, which is basically solder, that stuff melts at like 600 degrees, something like that.
Okay. And I think the highest this thing goes is 480. So we'll see what happens.
That should be good.
Yeah, I think 420 is exactly where you want to be.
Giggle snort.
Oh, is it really? 619's jumping out of that one. Okay.
I read it off his chat.
What other comment is that if people are going to have any trouble soldering, could we take 2 USB cables, one micro USB, and use it on the sensor board, and then use a micro USB-C to go to the air quality sensor?
No, because the USB-C on the air quality sensor is only touching power, so it's not actually doing any data stuff. So there is no interface as far as the IKEA thing is concerned.
Well, but if you then only soldered your data connection instead of having to solder all three, you could get the proper power, the 3.5 to the
That might work.
Just run one data cable between the two and run USB-C to the IKEA and micro USB to the Cubecell.
And how do you power them?
Battery, either a USB battery or a USB port, or if you really
well,
want,
I mean, because you just plug both of your power ports, so you'll end up soldering somewhere.
well, you'll still end up soldering your data cable, but the Cubecell has a micro USB on it.
What I mean is you're talking about connecting the USB off the IKEA to the micro USB on the Cubecell. Now you're out of USB ports, right?
No, I'm talking about using two different power sources, two different
I see.
USB-C blocks. And that way you only have to do one data solder.
I think it makes it harder, but
okay.
it's probably worth a try. I have not tried to do that, so I couldn't say for sure. Yeah, I see a wire on there, Nick.
See wire.
All right, I think I got it. It's on there. I don't know how unugly it is.
Yeah, just blur the camera a little more. Nobody will know.
Cold weld? No, not at all. Yeah, your iron being hotter probably helped.
All right, so what did I do wrong?
No, I was just saying the iron being hotter probably helped.
Oh, probably helped. Yeah. Okay. And you guys can see that okay? Sort of.
I can see this attached. I can't see the quality of the weld, but it looks like it's attached.
Which one was that, data, or was that one of the powers that he started with?
I'm guessing power, but I'm just guessing by the color.
Yeah, that was power.
I'm doing a Estonian hard cider tonight. It is 9 o'clock here, just so anyone's judging me, thinking I'm in the Bay Area.
9 o'clock. You in Europe?
Helsinki, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Today, yeah, leaving tomorrow.
Nice.
Okay, so I got to rotate that thing a little bit so you can see it more.
It looks pretty decent.
Looks great. It didn't pop off.
Yeah, it didn't pop, so you're probably good.
It's not bridging the next pin. Yeah.
It'll work.
You didn't save yourself a whole lot of room for that ground pin, but you could pop one over to the round pad now if you're feeling space constrained.
Wait, I can do what? What's the next thing?
I wish I could annotate on your video, but the circular pad that says ground, you can do your next one to that if you feel like you're going to be too close to that.
Okay.
One you just did.
Got it. Okay.
And you said those pads weren't tinned already, so yeah, if you want to go there, you'll need to do like a little depth of flux, and then like just get a little ball of solder on your iron, just touch it in, and it should tin the copper contact that's sitting there.
So if you do spill over and get solder between two of those pins, how do you clean that off?
X-Acto knife can be nice if it's like a little bridge. Otherwise, a lot of times just heating up the solder again and sort of wiggling it around will get it to break that surface tension.
The surface tension of the metal will pull it apart. Absolute worst case scenario, you do a soldering iron and a little bit of desoldering braid, and that will kind of suck away the excess solder.
Yeah, this is like learning to solder on hard mode. These are not.
Yeah, these are small pads.
Yeah, but it's good experience, right?
Yeah.
Can I ask a question about the Cubecell?
Please.
So there's an antenna wire. Does this thing have an internal antenna, or is the wire useful? Or
It does not have an internal antenna. I actually have a Cubecell, which is fantastic. So it attaches, you can see my video there, sort of right at the corner of that Cubecell module. So antenna coming out there. You should have like a UFL plug socket. Just snap right on.
so what does this require an antenna to work, or is it going to work closely to?
So generally speaking, most LoRaWAN devices, you want to have some sort of antenna on there. What's the sort of the analogy would be like running a motor without a load. It's not really great for it. It's not physically what the similarity is at all, but yeah, you want your antennas on.
So what is the fitting onto that antenna cable?
It's called a U.FL port.
I think that's the one that goes onto the board, but at the other end, there's like a female end to that. Just wondering what the name of that female end was.
Which end? They're both the same. It's just a male and a female.
It
should be.
It's got thread on it. On the,
right. Oh, you're talking about this side?
This end right here, if you can see it. This end is like a female thread, and here's your UFL.
Yeah. Okay, so the side you're calling the female end is actually just a that's the antenna itself. So if you were to tear this plastic off, which I don't recommend, what there's going to be is sort of a bullet-shaped cone, and that's sort of just the ground plane of the antenna. And then all of your antenna business is actually it's a coil of wire up here at the top.
Okay, so it just looks, I'm sorry, I'm an old blind dude, but it looks that coil of wire looked threaded. So
yeah, I see exactly what you mean.
I thought you screwed an antenna into that.
Oh, no.
I did not know
that is the antenna.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought this was a cable to an antenna. This is actually.
No, I'm with you. Okay. Yeah, if you have like one of the old Helium hotspot antenna, actually, I think I've got some pictures in the Discord where I like took one apart. Let me see if I can find that, and I'll like figure out how to share those.
Actually, I just did that couple minutes of foolishness to try to help Nick feel like he wasn't the only one.
Yeah.
You're a giver.
Yeah.
And it keeps on giving.
we shouldn't make Nick laugh. He's gonna bobble his solder joint.
Yeah, here we go.
Hands are shaking out of this magnifying glass a lot more than they do when I look at them in real life. I'm a jittery motherfucker when it comes down to it.
I had to find some wire, but I think I got it all connected.
There. I just uploaded a picture of that OG Helium hotspot antenna taken apart, and it kind of helps understand what's going on with that coil of wire, I think. Different antenna, but, physically sort of same design.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
What's wrong?
I desoldered the red one, so the power one fell off. The black one didn't fucking go. Just a general goddamn shit show. But I'll try again.
Gotta be purple or it won't work.
Yeah, that's right. This is well known. This is a well-known fact. All right, back to the red. I'm back to step one.
Hey, this is skill building.
Yeah, I guess so.
Mine came apart a couple times. It's holding now.
Is it? Oh, cool. You're getting it. Nice.
I just gotta say, I love that everyone's like kind of working on these. It reminds me of like lab in school. You gotta see who's gonna like race to the finish line on this.
Oh, well, I think I won then.
Did you do it yesterday?
You running data?
No, I did it this morning. I haven't soldered in years. I'm using my new Pine 64 solder thing that I had to figure out. I used to do it when I was a teenager a lot. mess with RC cars and all types of stuff. So I'm kind of used to it. Just been a long time.
Yeah, my uncle used to work at an electronics place and would bring home, boards to me for, just random parts and stuff. So I've been soldering stuff. It's pretty small.
Woo! I think I got the first two. Hang on, let me show you.
Nice.
The ground and the power one, I accidentally would keep undoing when I was doing it, but eventually they stuck. I'm using my phone so I can upload to Zoom, and I just stuck it in the chat and Crüe build.
Oh yeah, there we go.
It ain't pretty, but it works.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, once you're done, you can throw some hot glue over it to as a stress relief and to isolate anything from arcing those contacts, and you'd be good to go probably.
Well, if it's arcing, you got other trouble, but I agree.
Well, something coming across it, of course, not necessarily arcing, but.
So when I finish up, I put hot glue on it, and that insulates the things from each other a little bit.
Yeah, it'll insulate and it'll act as a stress relief too, so not all the movement is on the solder joint itself.
Cool. Dig it. All right, so one more to do. I got a blue, Joey. Blue's gonna have to stand in for purple here.
I don't know, man.
We might have an explosion. Stand by.
Yeah.
All right, and that goes to rest. Okay.
I literally cut up a power cord I had.
I was gonna say this is the weirdest hotel room that I've been in on this trip. Like this light looks like there's a giant penis over my
I've
head.
been biting my tongue about that light.
It's the first thing I noticed when I pulled up Zoom this morning. There's some I don't get the purple padded walls. There's some 50 Shades of Gray nonsense going on in here.
Yeah, enjoy Helsinki.
Yeah.
He found the hottest thing in Helsinki to do at 9 o'clock at night.
If the black one is bridging over, Joey, to the next, so if the ground is bridging over to whatever ice speckle, I can't read that thing.
Yeah, you're not gonna have a good time.
Okay.
So your best bet to get to unbridge, if it is probably you can touch the empty pad and remelt it, and the surface tension should pull them apart.
Okay. Cool.
Without detaching your black wire.
Where's my screws?
I'm sure they're loose somewhere.
I got two. Where's the third? Oh, in the board still. Never mind.
It's a good place to hold it.
Yeah.
Just FYI, Nick, once the wire is tinned, it should be plenty of solder to do your attachment.
Okay.
Oh, that looks good. That one looked good.
Third time's a charm, right?
Practice makes perfect. Oh,
Oh, it fucking fell off. God damn it.
I spoke too soon. Sorry.
I was so pleased with it too.
It looks pretty. Yeah, if you can give it a bit of a wiggle and it doesn't pop, then you should be good. Nice.
Woo! Holy shit!
Congrats.
God, I feel like I accomplished something this Saturday.
You did.
Yeah. The other side's a lot easier. So you did the hardest part of this whole thing. You get the holes on the other one.
Okay, so
there's through holes on the other side? Nice.
On the Cubecell, yeah.
all right, now I gotta check Joey's thing to see where I put these guys.
If you want to be super pro about it, you would put your Cubecell on the 3D printed thing and then run the wires up through the 3D printed thing so everything's sort of nested in there.
Before you attach. That makes sense.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I run the wires up the 3D printed piece and then I do the soldering. Okay.
Yep. So yeah, you put half of it all back. Well, you'd actually put basically everything all back together with that 3D printed piece sort of sandwiched underneath the board.
Yep.
And then it's Cubecell time.
We'll say when reattaching the board to the back, watch out because that one little clip gets in the way that kind of holds it. So I just ripped it out. My hot glue might have been too thick.
I can't believe I can't get the autofocus on this thing to work. It's bugging me. I gotta look at your whole thing now, Joey, and see what I'm missing on the.
It's a puzzle now.
Yeah. It's a constant, but this whole thing from soup to nuts. All right.
Yeah, I see what you're saying now. It's a lot easier. Yeah, I don't even know how you would do it without threading it through before you solder.
You can solder over, but then it's just kind of out there.
Oh yeah, but you get those fancy holes for the wires though.
Yeah, no, it just takes I don't know, you figure it out after like the second or third time.
I just looked over at Joe's feed and thought for a second, like, holy crap, there's a lot of flux. And then I realized he's vaping.
Yeah, that's what I do when I get bored. You know,
I just looked over and there's this cloud. I'm like, oh my God, how much flux is he using? Oh wait.
Yeah, Nick's not the only one on the struggle bus today.
What are we back to soldering here, Nick?
I'm tinning all 3 of those wires.
Planning ahead, smart. Okay.
Is that the right thing to do?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. You're ahead of me.
Out of curiosity, is that just the line of solder wire that you're nipping?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to do that.
No?
Nah.
Okay. Cool. I always figured it'd be like better to have like a clean start, but if it doesn't matter.
Doesn't really matter now. I've never done that. It's never been a problem.
Okay. Ha! There we go.
Is it just turned off?
Manual mode.
There's this thing on the fucking lens where the focus ring can either twist or it can click in or out away from the camera body. And if it's clicked one way, you can't turn it to autofocus. But now it should be working.
Oh, okay.
Lots of licorice's souvenirs, and now I'm just sitting here staring at them. Start a countdown until I actually open this thing.
Probably won't survive the plane trip unless you pack in your checked luggage.
Yeah.
Are you on Helium business in Helsinki?
No, I was at the LoRaWAN Expo 2 weeks at the beginning of the month in Paris. That was
Paris.
work. And then I have an event. So we're hosting like a workshop in Barcelona next week. And I don't enjoy international travel, so I'm just killing time. Yeah. So yeah, I went to Tallinn, Estonia for a week because I have an old coworker out there, so he kind of showed me around. It's also super cheap there. And then one night here, and then I'm flying from here out.
Yeah, actually, the euro and the dollar basically just came to parity, so you're probably being able to buy things really easy right now.
I was doing like as many groceries as I could carry in Estonia for like $20. It's a bit more, it's probably like double here in Finland. It's a little more US prices, but yeah, I was real happy. I was just buying everything. It was great.
Those fucking Finns.
Yeah.
The Swedish people think of the Finns as like country hicks. They said they're just out of the forest. Russ, don't get too fucking upset by that.
Hey, I'm not even out of the forest. I'm proud of it.
Yeah. Oh, Creekhound, I'm seeing your picture on Discord. Dude, that looks great. That looks way better than mine. Nice.
Yeah, I didn't have any wire, so I was making an off-grid last night. I had a power cord I cut up, so I'd use that. Recycling.
Doing the forward method of color coding. Any color you want, as long as it's black.
Joe, do you have a picture of where these things go in this thing?
It'll make more sense if you grab the case and kind of drop it on there and sort of see it all. And then, yeah, in the PowerPoint, there's one. Let me double check. I think I put it on GitHub too.
Yeah, the first picture in the GitHub looks pretty clear.
It's pretty useful.
Yeah. Looks like two of the wires come up through one hole, and then the third wire comes up through through a hole on the other side.
Okay.
Or to the left of them, I guess.
Let's have a look. Oh yeah, that's reasonably clear.
If you scroll
Fucking A.
down, there's like a top-down picture of like the back of the board, and then you can kind of reference between the two, I think.
Got it. Okay, so the board gets screwed back into the IKEA cover, and then you put this 3D printed thing on top of that, and then you run all your shit up from there.
Yep.
Cool.
Loosely, yeah. The IKEA board, kind of the 3D printed thing, nests underneath it, and then when you screw down that IKEA board, it kind of locks it in place. I spent most of today on a scooter riding around Helsinki with a mapper. So put in some work today.
Nice.
Rough life.
Yeah.
I had trouble also with the antenna, just setting it right there.
Yeah, that looks perfect, Nick. Everything's just feel pretty sturdy in there.
Okay. And then these guys get run up through various.
Yeah, so the black red will come up through the bigger hole on the right, and the blue will come up on the left-hand hole.
Oh, so kind of the opposite of where they.
Yeah, it's like this little cross going on.
And yeah, you might be able to shorten things up a little bit. Or you can just keep them the same length, kind of jam everything in there too.
Okay. No, I see what you're saying now. Okay, so this is going to come off. We're actually going to reattach these guys, or the.
Yep, we can see good.
Nice and blurry.
Shh.
What's that? What did I miss?
Nothing.
Oh, I should have done the hot glue, huh?
Oh, yeah, before you get too much further, yeah, if you wanted to hot glue those connectors to the IKEA board, you probably want to do that now.
Yeah.
Putting a lot of faith in this working. But
What's that?
putting the hot glue is putting a lot of faith in this working.
Oh, so maybe I should do it at the very end after I check it all out.
Yeah, might.
Yeah, you got enough slack on the wires. You can get them out of the way, I suppose. Yeah, that's a good point.
Nick, is the tab of the pink thing underneath the board on the, if you can like rotate that around? Rotating. Yeah, it looks like it's under there.
Oh, so the board holds down the 3D printed part.
The board holds down the 3D printed part, and it looks like it's sitting right on the lip right now. You might need to like kick that under a little bit more.
Oh, this guy. Okay.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I should sit down a little further. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I could. That looks.
There
good.
we go.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Woo! So exciting.
It's looking good. Do you mind if I take a screenshot for Twitter purposes when you get that thing in there?
Is that good right there?
It looks great. Yeah, get a hand in there. You got to see some action. Yeah, there you go. All right. I got you.
Yeah, I can see I'm going to buy all of this shit again and do all of this shit again and take nice pictures and make it look pretty. But for right now, you guys are getting the ugly version. I was just looking at the chat, catching up on that. That was from your antenna chat a while ago, right?
Oh, my picture?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, that was ages ago. Yeah, I posted that in, like, the antenna channel on Discord.
Oh, no, I'm just looking at the chat on this thing. I was walking back and forth between my little, because I didn't set things up correctly between my workbench and this. So I come back here and chat with you guys and then go over there and curse to myself and come back here. I'm just looking at the pretty picture. Okay, so it goes like that. And then red goes in the first one.
Red should be in the second one.
In the second one. How the fuck are you seeing that?
I'm looking at the GitHub.
The very first picture in the GitHub, right?
No. There's a third set of pictures if you scroll almost to the bottom.
Okay, there we go. Yahtzee. That's a little better.
Yeah, so that V in is your voltage in, the one next to it is ground, and then pin 2 is your data, looks like.
Luckily, I just went with a color coding piece. Okay, so I can just do black, red, and I substitute purple for blue because this is well known that colors make a difference. Okay, so it goes black, red, and then skips a couple, and then 3 from the end is blue.
Correct. And just to be clear, you should be soldering on the side away from the Heltec logo.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because I realize there's holes on both sides. So you want the side that has the holes furthest away from that Heltec logo.
Yeah, the board goes on like upside down.
Yeah.
So the little divot on the 3D printed piece is meant to nest the, I want to say battery connector or USB connector, one of the two. But so depending on which side is which.
Fuck, I think I tin these things so ugly that they won't slide through those holes.
Oh,
now
they're
you
too
make them
fat.
shorter.
Yeah, you can just run the soldering iron over it and just pull some of the solder back off of them.
Huh, okay.
Okay, so if you want to, I thought you would run the wire up through there. I mean, through that hole.
You do.
And then you'd be looking at above at the Cubecell and the Heltec logo, and just put a drop of solder on that side.
Yes.
I thought you said you would do it on the other side from the Heltec logo.
No. So you're looking at the top of the board. I was just saying there's two sets of holes on the edge, and he wants to make sure he's on the ones that are furthest from that Heltec logo.
Oh, you mean the opposite side of the, okay. I thought you meant the opposite side of the board. You meant the opposite end of the board.
Yeah.
Okay,
And coming up from the opposite side of the green. So if we think of it as is the top the one with the green side, and the bottom is the one with nothing?
Yeah, the top is the Cubecell chip.
Got it. Okay.
Or Cubecell.
Okay, so we run the wire through the bottom, through the black side, and then we solder on the top side that has the logo.
Yeah.
Opposite end from the Heltec logo.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely refer to the GitHub. There, it shows it pretty clearly too.
Okay.
Elon Tusk is like mission control for this whole project.
I'm just here for moral support.
Oh, it's great. Like you got the instruction set. You're like, that's good. I'm sitting here trying to visualize it without looking at it, trying to remember back. I can't even do it.
All right. Well, I just posted for everybody in case everybody didn't have the link.
Oh, there's some focus. That was looking real sharp for a second. Oh, it's just focusing on the Cubecell instead of your. Well, maybe that's what you want. Oh, that is what you want. I see what you're doing.
Okay. Yeah. Looks like that. Yeah. You got the black wire in the right place. Yeah.
Yep. So the black wire is right. It is coming through right here.
Yep. That's the right spot.
And then when that comes through, do you like come through and bend it over so it won't move?
You can if you want. It gives it a little more mechanical, but that's probably mostly just to kind of hold it in place while you solder.
Yeah.
Once the solder's there, it won't matter.
And then on the soldering side, it's through. It's already tinned, so basically I should just be able to touch the wire and the hole at the same time, and they should heat up, and the magic should happen.
Yep. You can. Personally, I would give it I would put the soldering iron there and give it a little touch of solder just to kind of fill that hole.
Okay, so with the wire through it.
Yeah, so like just as it's sitting now, pop on the soldering iron and touch it with a bit of the solder wire.
Got it. Joe, I see what they're talking about with the smoke coming up now. I don't know what you're smoking, but it's amazing. There you go.
Stupid vape pen. I'm being a degenerate.
All right, carry on. I was like, man, that is a lot of smoke.
All the flux.
Dropped another $200 in parts. I had to go cry myself asleep over it.
Is that on 5G?
No. It's on a different project.
How's your foam stuff, Joe?
That's what it is. I'm putting up documentation on it. So I'm gonna get all this stuff for his setup. Isn't this a paid for subscription here? This Zoom meeting?
It is. You get the invite because you're a guest. So anyone who comes on and kind of shares their expertise and makes sure they can come back on here.
I appreciate it.
I think that means that Elon's going to get a check in the mail.
Elon was one of the first moderators.
Nick, you have like a Gristle Crüe hashtag that you use or something?
I don't. I probably should. No, yeah. I mean, you could just use Gristle Crüe. You can start it. You can be the first one. I'll start tagging all my shit after that.
There you go.
Yeah, we're about to do a bunch of advertising crap, so I should probably pay more attention to it. But
yeah, you do CRUE, right?
yeah, CRU with an umlaut if you can manage it. If you can't, don't worry about it. Just CRUE is fine. I don't think anyone else on Twitter is going to be using Gristle Crüe as a hashtag, whether it has it or not.
I can do it, Uma. I'm a type nerd here, so
Oh,
it's
I mean, you're in Helsinki.
Option-
You gotta use umlaut, right?
it's option U and then U, and you got an umlaut.
Yep, something like that.
Option? Oh no, you're on a Mac.
Yeah, that's how you do typography.
No, you just hold Alt and type in numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, it's time for a stupid question. I've got my board, and I'm using 2 power supplies instead of connecting these 2 with power. So
Okay.
I've got my board.
No guarantees on that. So
Okay.
we'll see if it works.
That's fine. Okay, so that way I only have to solder 1 wire. So I'm having a little trouble spatially figuring out which way this wire should come out. Is it better off coming out this end or the bottom or the top or the?
Okay, well, first, okay, hang on. That red wire, is that the 5-volt wire?
That's the data wire.
Oh, that's the data wire. Okay.
So I guess it's got to come out this end, and then I'll put 1 more screw in here.
Could you bring it back up again? I was just trying to see what I realized I was muted.
So what I'm really trying to figure out is how we're orienting this thing with the box.
So the little holes in the 3D printed part, it looks like you've got that printed. Those slot over the standoffs where the screws go in for the case.
Okay, so it really needs to go out this end, basically, and turn up like that.
I think so.
Yeah, I think I got it figured
It's hard
out.
to follow. Yeah.
I was just trying to figure out how I wanted to lay it in. Well, another issue I'm going to have is to be able to use that USB port on the Cubecell. I'll have to either cut this out, this side of the box out, or I'll have to just leave this thing loose for today.
Yeah, I would go loose for now just to see if you can get it all working the way that you want.
Okay.
And then if it works, then yeah, start cutting holes.
That looks pretty good, Nick. Does it feel like it's solidly attached to the little pad there?
Yeah.
Nice. Cool. Yeah, it looks good.
I dropped a bead of solder somewhere else on the board, so
Oh,
get that off.
yeah.
Just like a rolling disaster is what it is. Okay, now I got to figure out where the red goes. And let me check out the diagram.
Red goes right next to the black.
Oh, for Christ's sake. Who puts these things together? People with many hands.
3 of them.
People who have machines that solder the entire board at once.
Literal robots.
Yeah.
Have you seen the videos of wave soldering?
Wave soldering? I'm not familiar with that.
So wave soldering, it's actually pretty common in like mass electronics when they're not super complicated. And you literally take the board and you float it over a pool of molten solder, and it solders everything.
Okay, I've heard that by a different name. Yeah, especially when they're doing just the surface mount stuff, where it's not like through wires or anything. It's just like surface mount, and they just like have little bits of solder and flux pre-done. They just stick it to the board, and they float the whole thing, and just bloop, done.
It's pretty wild, yeah.
Yeah, you got those little robots. They just pick the parts, so they just stick them to the board, and then they solder the entire board all at once.
Okay, so we plug our antenna. Once we got all of our soldering done, we plug our antenna in first, and then we hook up a power to our Cubecell. Oh no, I'm sorry. We hook up power to the 2 units. Is that?
Yeah, you're definitely going to want an antenna before you power on.
Well, yeah, you could, antenna before you power on. And then I guess starting would be to power on the IKEA thing, just make sure it still behaves as expected. And then Cubecell, and on that end, we're gonna have to flash some firmware before you get anything expected there.
Okay, so that was part 1 of the Gristle Crüe team build on the air quality sensor project that Joey put together. If you'd like to see part 2, I'd love to have you join the Gristle Crüe. I'll make that video available to Gristle Crüe members. It's a monthly membership. You also get to jump on a weekly Zoom calls with us. So we do an hour a week on Zoom, Tuesday mornings, 10 o'clock Pacific. And we'll have various experts come in and help us understand what's going on either in Helium or in other blockchain and meat space projects. You also get access to a special Discord server on the Gristle King side. So there's a whole bunch of channels that are available only to Gristle Crew members, and those cover anywhere from sensor builds like the one you just saw, to general talk, to what's going on in 5G, what's going on in other sensor deployments, what's going on in other projects. It's a really valuable resource and part of the Gristle Crew monthly membership. So hope that was exciting and interesting and educational for you. And if you want to see more, I'd love to see you join the Gristle Crew. The link is down in the description. Rock and roll.